for everyone who is just joining us, again, my name is Amy Truesdell. I am going to be the moderator for today's call. And I will also have joining me a little bit later is Mike Kowalski. He is the president and founder here at Automated Marketing Solutions. Now, I know Mike, when I spoke to him earlier, was feeling a little under the weather, so hopefully we can get him to get his content that he wants to convey clearly to you guys without having to have too many interruptions, coughing. All right, as always, as we go along through the call, if there are any questions, we ask that you please type them into the chat bar. We will be doing a live Q&A at the end of the call. And of course, you may not have questions ahead of time, but as we filter through, you'll jot those down. Anything that we're not able to cover, we will give you a follow-up call as well. So if you prefer to have it that way, you make sure that you just leave the best number to reach you at as well. Okay, so let's take a look at our agenda, what we're going to go through today. So for those who are participating on our call who may not know who Automated Marketing Solutions is, we're going to touch a little bit on that. We want to also cover the main point, why Facebook pay-per-click advertising is so important today. If you're not using it, why aren't you using it? Then AMS has a proven formula that we use each and every time that we do Facebook advertising for our own company or for our clients. So we're going to do a walkthrough of that particular formula with you guys as well. As I did mention, we're also going to cover off some questions and answer those live at the end as well. We want to know what you can expect next to be delivered as well. So AMS has always got something coming in the pipeline, so we'll be sure to share that with you. What we're going to do, as I mentioned, Mike is feeling a little under the weather, so I'm just going to run through who Automated Marketing Solutions is in regards to today's call. Okay, so us being a business who helps small business owners, expand and grow theirs, what we want to do is make sure that we're able to help you guys with the Facebook side of things, but not just that, we also do webinars with you. We provide toll-free hotline services, voice broadcasting, coaching and consulting, all different types of services for small business owners. And we do this, not just for one particular industry. We do have multiple niches that we work with. So the principles of marketing, they apply to pretty much every business. Once you learn those principles, it's easier for some of us to convey that to you than having to learn them all on your own. Okay, so Mike, I know that you're not feeling the best. I hope that you're able to come on and participate with us. Do I have you here with me now?
You do, Amy. How are you doing today?
Perfect. I'm doing much better than you. Thank you. Thanks for coming on.
Nothing
feeling under the weather.
Yeah, but cold meds and the chicken noodle soup will fix it. It's no problem. I want to welcome everyone on the call today. That's great. Glad for you guys to be joining us. And yeah, looking forward to this content. We have a lot of good content to cover, Amy. And yeah, you did a great introduction to AMS. I just want to add that we also have worked with some of the top industry gurus, such as Janet Kennedy, Craig Proctor, to name a few, working with their clients and systems and using the direct response marketing principles as well in the different mediums. So yeah, so why don't we get on with our call? Why Facebook?
Sure, you bet. So the reason why we wanted to shed some light on this particular topic today is because we find that the pay-per-click advertising through Facebook is one that gets often overlooked. So just want to share with you guys today some of the reasons why we think that it would definitely benefit you in your business. Okay, so Facebook alone has 2 billion people every month that are going in there. As we go along through the presentation, you're definitely going to find out more as to what type of exposure you can get through Facebook. So not is it just Facebook, but you will have multiple platforms as well.
Just to add into
We've
those stats, Amy,
Mhm.
that is a definitely opportunity if done right. Like you mentioned, there's over 2.2 billion people that have accounts on Facebook and over 1.3 billion people that log in every day to Facebook. And the average user spends, would you believe it or not, 20 minutes per session on Facebook. So that's a session. They could get
Yeah,
back
that's
on
not per
later in the
day.
day. Yeah, so there's a great opportunity if it's done right.
Yeah, exactly. Well, that's definitely some stats in here that I didn't put, but they're ones that people need to know. We've also
Now
got in here
the
that, yeah, go ahead.
no, and you've got the proof of concept and demand. That's one great thing about Facebook as well. Because I know in the earlier days of marketing, we're business owners and marketers were spending tens and thousands of dollars on testing, seeing if their product worked or not. This is a great medium, really, to easy and expensive to test your messages and to your audiences. So very, very low budget, and even if you don't have a product and service and want to test it to a certain um, spheres or client base or target market, it's a great tool to try that.
Exactly. Yeah, you can definitely see how your ads are going to be perceived by your target audience, and with that you can do the testing for different. It could be something as simple as changing an image, something as changing a headline. So that's really great for this particular platform. You can also dig in and you can refine your audience through targeting, which is great. So you're not doing, the spray and pray, kind of hoping for anyone to see your result. You can really narrow that down. And once you've got that, you can retarget those people as well. Once you've got your ads running and you want to see how well they're performing, they've got some really great tracking reports that you're able to view. You can dig down on those as well to try and see, if it's something like gender, location, audience, just how many times they're clicking through. All those types of things you can track on easy to read reports, which is great. And lastly, just to kind of contribute into that first point that Mike and I were elaborating on, is when you're running ads with Facebook, it's not just running it using the Facebook platform. They also tie in your ads into Instagram as well as the audience network. And we'll get into all of this a little bit later as we progress through the call. Mike, did you have anything you want to add to that?
Yeah, I was just going to say, with all these great points, it is such great opportunity for business owners that if they haven't tried Facebook, is a great opportunity with all the opportunity. And if you have tried Facebook and wasn't getting great success on your campaigns, then we're going to go through to see how we can improve that for you. Okay.
Yeah, so some of the reasons maybe people have not tried Facebook advertising, we wanted just to highlight three of the main ones that we've heard. The first one is that people just automatically assume it's going to be too expensive. So possibly from, past experience using a Google pay-per-click account, they've had, expenses come that were ones that were not really expected. They seem to have been too high. So this particular platform is one that, we hear that on as well.
Absolutely. There's that perception that Facebook costs, and it does cost a lot of money. That's what the perception is. But if done, again, it can be expensive if not done right or managed properly, right? But you can start budgets at $5 to $10 a day. You can also pause and start your campaigns whenever you like, or target for a specific period of time. So it is a very expensive tool, and it's a good test on your product and service as well. So basically, you're in control of what you're spending, where you're spending it, and why you're spending it.
Yeah, exactly. So it can be expensive, but there's certainly ways that you can narrow that down. And again, Facebook will allow us to do that. Another one that we hear is that they've got a lack of time or resources when it comes to actually implementing the advertising themselves.
Yeah, it could take a lot of your time for different reasons that people use it for. But like you said, there is options, and there's experts. You can either set it up yourself, and we'll get into that later in the call of the ease of use and of the panel. But yeah, there is help if you require it.
Yeah, and our last one that we get is that it's just too overwhelming or too confusing. We do have people who are not tech savvy; they're experts in what they do, but this is not something that they want to dive into. So we do hear that from time to time as well. What we want to cover next is just AMS, as I mentioned, has a formula in which we use every time we are creating ads for ourselves or creating ads for our clients. So we definitely know kind of what we're doing when it comes from the implementation right up to the delivery. Okay, so this is what we're going to be going through now. We're going to spend quite a bit of time on this because we really feel that this is a point that needs to hit home with you guys, because without this particular formula that we use, it's going to be pretty much impossible to get the ads done from beginning to end the way that we're hoping that we're going to have those guaranteed results come through. So the first thing that we're going to do within our formula is we help develop a solid strategy. So without a strategy, you're not able to move forward when it comes to delivering these ads to your base. I know, Mike, you really have a lot to offer when it comes to putting together a strategy, whether it be for ourselves or just for our clients as well.
Absolutely. You got to know the reason why you're doing this. And not only do you have to have a Facebook strategy, but you also need to create a great ad. You also have to have a good Facebook offer. And you need to test and adjust as well. So, I mean, the strategy is very important because it really is a system that expands itself, where you're getting continuous traffic that attracts new people into your business, and you're not really worrying about where your next lead is going to come from. And you get these through opt-ins, and what you're going to find, your success is where you're just trying to build a relationship on it. So you're really trying to start off in something small, like building that relationship, and that could be, that could be an opt-in to a report or a webinar like we're doing today, ebook, blog post, or even podcast. So the goal is that just build that relationship. You're really not going to marry that person on the first date, but just try and build that relationship, and then that will get you into kind of larger products, and even get people to buy multiple times off you. So there's a whole strategy and process to do that, and so it's very important to have a good strategy, and without one, you're really doing like kind of random acts of marketing, and that's not what we want you to do.
Right, and some of the things that we had talked about when we are looking at the who, what, where, when, why, how, what would be your product or service that you're wanting to offer. Your who would be who you actually want to target, your ideal client or prospect. Where would be your audience, location, are you all of North America? Are you, just a local, brick and mortar type business? Your how is going to be your lead capture. How are you going to be getting that information, to follow up with? And then you want to make sure that you're going to be able to deliver. Your when, that's the scheduled delivery. So with all of these elements together, it's definitely going to make that marriage a lot easier, but it's not, like you said, Mike, gonna be marrying on the first date. There's a whole lot that goes into it.
It's a shy yes on the first date. Some ideas, just to elaborate on that, Amy, some ideas of strategy. I know we've used it in the past, a lot of our clients where they have a blog, so a blog post would be very good, where you could send that traffic from the Facebook ad right to your blog post. Now, it all comes down to the message too. I mean, this is a medium, right? So you got to have a good message. It's got to be relevant. Okay, it's got to deliver value to your prospect. And working with a lot of real estate agents in the past and other industries, having a USP or a unique selling proposition is key. And a lot of our clients that we use their USP in the ad, right, to compel that click from the Facebook ad. And very, very important if you have a USP to use that in the ad, because it would get clicks. Also, another strategy, which Amy mentioned earlier in the call about retargeting traffic, and that's where people will go to the post and, they go there and they don't take action. They don't go to the next step. And there's reasons for that. Maybe they're too busy, or they're really not interested in what you're offering at that point, but it could be something else. So we have a way, and Facebook has a way to create what we call pixels that we place in the visitors as they visit your blog or website. And you can remarket or retarget them back and maybe get them back to another offer or another product of service that you have.
Exactly.
Another thing too. I mean, video is huge. Okay, so creating a video ad, and there's different types of ads you can use, and I think Amy will get into that later. But creating a video ad, another idea where if you have a video ad and your audience of people are actually watching maybe at least 25% of that video, so there is some interest in what you got to say, and maybe they just, and you got reports to let you know that. You can send another ad to retarget those people, and deliver them to another offer or another message. So that's not really wasted traffic, and it's a good opportunity to get them on another product or service as well.
To re-engage. Exactly. Yeah. And I think with this strategy development as well, it really gets people thinking about, what their marketing objective is. So oftentimes people will just place an ad to get a lead, but they don't have that full follow through. So you want to make sure that you know what your marketing objective is, and this strategy will help build that out for you.
Now, anyone on the call that have a local business, I'll give you an example. You can talk about your new offer or new product information, special report if you have one. And you can post this information online using a blog or a video like we talked earlier, and continuously market to your best products, and set a budget, create an ad, and then even post that ad to your Facebook page. Maybe you want to elaborate on that, Amy?
Yeah. I mean, when you're doing your advertising, not just the posting the posting that you do within Facebook is not the same as doing an ad. So there's definitely a difference there. But when you're doing that advertising through Facebook, that medium, not only will it go through your Facebook feed, the mobile feed for Facebook, there's the desktop feed, but you're also going to be pushing that out to, 500 million, I believe the number was, of Instagram people. So Facebook has a way of tying in its ad into the ad network for Instagram as well. So you talk about viral and all those types of things, but this really is a platform that has a high reach. And whether you're looking at something that's going to be a static image, you can do like a carousel of images, which means you would just have more than one. If you're, let's say, like a retail store and you want to have multiple products that you highlight in a single ad, that's a carousel image. Or you would do just a static one. You could do that video, as you mentioned, Mike, as well. There are some that do audio. So, I mean, really, whatever you can do that's going to stand out in the eye of your viewer is what you're looking to do.
And in addition to placing that in your post, or part of your ad in your post, in your Facebook, in your timeline, that would also get you some organic reach as well. So really, organic reach, Facebook organic reach is not dead. It's there. And Facebook determines that based on the traffic you drive, but also the likes and the interaction and comments on your post. So very important as well. There's some free opportunity there as well.
And I think that ties into our next slide that we've got, Mike, where we're talking more so just about the construction of an ad itself. So when you're talking about the likes and the shares, the organic traffic, all of that's going to tie in when you're creating your ad and using keywords. The keywords have to be consistent, with your ad, to your lead capture source, to your follow-up materials. Those types of things are all going to help with that organic search as well. So we talk about, the very first thing that you want to do when you're creating your ad is create a compelling headline, one that's going to capture your ideal prospect. And more times than not, we always say, hit them with an emotional pain point. We're going to show you some sample ads shortly after we go through these. This is more just the strategy as we mentioned. So we want to hit them with a pain point. Once we've gone through that, task of capturing their readership, we want to go ahead and in the body of that ad expand on those points. So like we were just mentioning, it could be something in a video, it could be a powerful image that you've got in there, just some bullet points, even if you want to do that, that are going to elaborate a little bit more on that headline that you've got. And then you want to have a strong call to action. So you want to, as Mike said earlier, offer something of value. And that call to action could be a click, it could be watch a video, it could be, contact us, request a consult. There's several different things that you could put in there that would really, I think, be beneficial when it comes to putting your ad together.
A big point what you just said is that headline, Amy. You only have a few seconds for people to get their attention and to do something or to read more of your ad or click a video, right? You really, like you said, want to agitate that pain. And that is one of the most important things of the ad is a headline to get that click or get that reading the rest of the ad in your Facebook ad as well.
Yeah, and there's only such a short attention span that your reader is going to have as they're scrolling through or clicking through, whether it be their Facebook or their Instagram feeds. So again, something that's going to be compelling enough to stand out to push home to them what it is that you want to offer to them, whether it's a product or a service. We talked about doing some consistency, like within the titles, to your graphics, your color selections, when it comes to doing your ad. Your ad wants to be consistent to that lead capture page. Your lead capture page will have a thank you. On that thank you, you could have another, call to action. Whether it could be download this free report. I don't know about report. It could be an ebook. It could be a consultation. It could be anything. But as long as it's consistent and the client knows that you're not, or the prospect rather knows that you're not, sending them somewhere else, that consistency is going to push your brand into the readership of that particular individual.
Yeah, getting to the call to action, I'll list some possible offers that you could use on Facebook. And like we said earlier on the call, you don't want to ask for too big of a step from your visitor. Not initially. You really want to build that relationship, and like asking for a phone call or to call you to cold traffic, I think would be too much to start. So a free consultation may be better as well. Some possible offers that work very well. There's all different types of offers you can do. You can do coupons, sweepstakes, or blogs. You can have a checklist, a swipe file of information, or a step-by-step guide, quiz or survey. You can do a webinar like we're doing today, or if you're doing events, you want to send them to an event as well. I know that people that have physical products, they have the free shipping, does very well, where there's free shipping on the product. So those are some of the offers that you could possibly use in any industry. The audience that buy are people who you know, and the higher the price of what they're selling, the better your audience needs to know who you are. So that's basically the goal, and to have
so
that.
You're saying the more. Sorry, Mike. I was just going to say, you're saying the more branding of the advertising, the higher the price point you can sell your product for, because that relationship is already established. Is that correct?
Right.
Yeah.
Right. So you can delve. Yeah, absolutely. That's right. I mean, branding is good, and unbranded will also get you deliver. Well, it should deliver you more results if you're unbranded the ad as well. But yes, that's exactly what I was referring to. So yeah, a lot of different offers you can use through Facebook. But using your USP, as we said earlier, unique selling proposition, is highly recommended if you have one. If you don't have one, you should work on why people should do business with you over all other options or do nothing at all.
Again, that's a huge part of that strategy, right? I mean, you definitely need to have your plan mapped out and clear so that anyone coming on board is going to have a full understanding of what it is that you're offering to them.
And that's the first thing we talk about when we go in these consultations, Amy, is we talk about unique selling propositions and do you have one, and even try to come up with one. And it could just be a guarantee. In real estate, they do guaranteed home sales, or different levels of guaranteed home sales, where the agents are actually guaranteeing the home, that they'll sell the home in a certain period of time, or else they'll buy it. So that's just an example in the real estate part of it as well.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. Should we move on to our next one here? It's just pushing home again more of the things that we've been talking about, where it has to be relevant, to your ideal prospect. Your product or service has to be relevant. Your display ad that you're going to be using to draw in your audience, you want to make sure that it is consistent in not just the verbiage, but the look and feel to your lead capture page. That lead capture page, you again have a small opportunity to compel your prospect to put in their information to get whatever it is that you're looking to offer them. And then same with the thank you page. Your thank you page is where you're going to deliver and satisfy, your need for your prospect that's coming through. Mike, you've already talked quite a bit on that call to action. There's quite a few elements within our strategy planning that we do when it comes to mapping out what a business plan should be, and a business plan in the sense that, this is your ad on Facebook from beginning to end. So this is not just an all-encompassing business. It's just the small elements that we're putting together, but they're all each equally important.
Absolutely. I mean, I've seen a lot of business owners and clients that I've consulted that had a great ad, Amy, great conversion rate on their ad, whether it's pay-per-click, Google, or Facebook, but they lose them on the lead capture page. So you really haven't finished off the job yet, because we talked about congruency, consistency, and more importantly, relevant to your prospect. And delivering value. I mean, that's got to flow through right to your lead capture page, right to the thank you page, and then the follow-up. We haven't talked about follow-up, the email follow-up, or whatever message or send in text or email. It's got to be consistent, congruent, or you're going to lose them. And that goes the same with any images or any colors or any fonts as well.
And we didn't talk about an element as well, which is the nurture portion of the campaign. So when somebody is coming in, you may have got them in the opt-in, but the opt-in is not selling, right? So when you get them in that opt-in, what is it that then follows? What kind of a nurture sequence are you going to be feeding to your new prospects that have come in order to satisfy what it is that you're hoping to obtain in the end, right? You want to know what your end goal is and when it's going to be achieved and how you're going to achieve it. So yes, you've got the lead, but now what, right? So that nurture portion of it is also very important as well.
The follow-up is a whole other topic webinar, but very, very important, right? Yeah.
Yeah. All right, so we have a couple of examples of ads that we're going to just let you take a peek at here. We've got some that are related to our real estate niche, as well as we have the financial
home evaluation
advisory.
Home evaluation. Yeah.
Yeah, we've got the home evaluation. So I'm just putting the three of them up here so we can take a look. But you'll notice a pattern with them. So they're all going to have that captivating headline that we see at the top of the image, right? So you want to know perhaps what your home might sell for if you wanted to put it on the market. The image itself, you have limited, this is a technical thing and you don't need to get into all of that on this call with me today, but there is a, limited space for what you can put in regards to text in your images. So just make it simple and to the point. You don't want to sell anyone in that image. You're just wanting to push home a pain point. We can say that the real estate market has shifted, and then if you want to learn more about how you can get your home value, you go ahead and you click the button. So that's going to take them to a landing page in this case for your MississaugaHomeValue.com. So this is a static image pushing to a landing page. That landing page is going to obviously be the lead capture for that ad. The next one that we have is the financial aid. So we have heading off to college, maximize the amount of financial aid you're eligible to receive. Okay, so this is not just for one particular audience. This would be for students as well as for parents, right? So they kept the online workshop as something that was going to be their call to action. And when you click the button, they would get, dates of upcoming events that they could participate on. And then the last one we have is the empty nesters. Again, just another real estate one. How to sell the place that you call home. If you need to downsize, here's the call to action. Click here. So they all have a pattern to them. The pattern applies to any business, any niche. It's not one particular, business is going to do well with this formula and not another. It's across the board. It's like a global formula for actually putting these ads together.
I know in real estate, Amy, we put in the ad too. Sometimes we put in urgency or expiry times. And on real estate, where you have a list of foreclosure homes or a certain list of homes that you can get by this certain date, and you put that in the ad, that definitely converts a lot better as well.
It does.
We haven't shown it.
Yeah.
We do have an ad, but we don't have it shown here. But urgency and expiry of time of getting something of value works very well as well.
Yeah, and from another techie point of view, this particular ad that we're looking at is just one of 11 styles that Facebook will do. So they automatically configure the size for you and how it's going to be best viewed on what device and in what platform, whether it be Facebook, Instagram, or the audience network. So
it really is your audience that's going to determine what is working best. We also do split testing, which we can talk about later, but we can really test one or more ads to the same audience to see which one converts better. So, I was just going to say that ties us into our audience network. So what we're doing is when we're looking at finding your ideal prospect is that you want to make sure that you can target only those who your product or service is going to be relevant to. You can really dig down when it comes to who you want to show or display your ad to. And just some of the things I put in here, you can do it by geographic location, you can do age range, gender, you can do language, and then there's also detailed targeting. And that detailed targeting, I like to refer to that as the golden nugget. That's where you can narrow down your demographic, so you can really find out the interests that would be relevant to your product or service, the behaviors, if someone's looking to buy a home or sell a home, those types of things. So that for me is the fun part, where you get into the detailed targeting. Mike, you have anything you want to contribute to that one? No, just the fact that you can drill down to your ideal client, patient, or prospect or customer. It allows you. Again, you do a lot of the setup and back of it, Amy. I know you can do a target by a certain range of miles as well, right?
Yeah, exactly. So with the geographic location, you can do by state, province, country. You can get right down to zip code or area code.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
very
important. Yeah. And this
it's
is
really
where
good for brick and mortar.
Yeah, and this is where it saves you. I mean, if you're not, this is where it can save you money. And we'll get into the testing and the adjusting in the next screen. But you can see you can really drill down to find your ideal client.
Yeah, and when we're doing that drilling down, that's where you're able to control the costs, right? So we talked about in the beginning of the call how some people find that, they don't want to try the Facebook advertising. They fear that it might be too expensive. Well, it can be if you don't do it right, but if you're drilling down your audience, you're able to minimize those costs so that you're only targeting your leads in your area. But this particular way of controlling costs, it can be broken down even more. So you can do a daily budget, you can do a lifetime budget. It's similar in some ways to your Google pay-per-click that some of you may have used already, but you can determine, what type of a schedule you want to display your ad to. So is it going to be, every day of the week? Is it going to be certain days of the week? This is, again, where your testing will come into play. You can see who's clicking at what time of day, all that kind of good stuff. With your bid strategy, so again, it's like an auction. You can set up, a certain amount that you want to do daily. You can have a cap, so you can say, I want my ad to show as many times, but I never want it to go over this particular amount. And then just by how you actually want to have your ad viewed, right? So do you want to pay per impression? Do you want to have link clicks, video views? So I believe it's 10 seconds or longer. If it's under 10 seconds, you're not going to have to pay for that. But over that, you would have your bid fee applied to that. And then your delivery type. So all of those are great ways of keeping those costs down, and it will come into the tracking and testing side of things as well. So our conversion and tracking, all of those things considered. So we've got our ads that we've built and put together. We've got our audience that we were able to dig down and we've now created, our budget and our schedule for our ad to be displayed. Now we can see all of those factors in the back end of our conversion and tracking. And there's really just only the three areas that you need to be able to track by, which is your performance, your demographic, and placement. And those types of things allow you to, Mike, you're a big one on this one, test and adjust.
It's always about testing and adjusting to get your best campaign. And once you find that out, the ones that don't work, you get rid of. The ones that work, the best and make you a lot of money, are the jackpots you do more of. So, your best ad won't be the first ad you run, Amy.
No.
It takes some testing and tweaking. It never is the first ad. Your best ad is the one that really gets you the results you want at the price you're willing to pay. A quote from Dan. Go ahead.
No, that's a quote from Dan Kennedy.
Yeah, I remember a quote from Dan, the one able and willing to pay the most for a customer will win. And you can only do that by testing and tracking. So, you can look at, you can test images, you can test headlines, you can test offers, as we mentioned. We look at click-through rates, we look at video views, frequency, relevance score, opt-ins, all these measuring sticks. But really, it really is all about the cost per goal. How much you're willing to spend to get your ideal client. That's what it's really all about. And to find that out, you've got to track and you got to measure, you got to adjust, and you got to tweak. But once you have it, you just do more of it. And
I think that is key, what you just said. Once you have it, you do more of it. I find that there has been in the past where I've spoken with clients who say, they've been running this one ad for a long time, they're tired of doing it. But that ad is the one that's generating the most leads, that's bringing them business. So they may tire or expire, of the ad itself, but you're consistently pushing that message to a new audience. And that new audience is not going to be tired of your advertising. So, yeah, you want to stick with what works.
I think the cost per goal is it's a key. Where once you find that and what you're prepared to spend.
Yeah, yeah. What I wanted to do while we're on the call with everyone is just a couple of quick polls. I've got 2 for us today. So the first one that I wanted to know is just if you're doing pay-per-click advertising, what sources are you currently using? So I'm going to pop that poll up for you, and I'm going to ask you guys to go ahead and let me know when we've got some votes coming in. I'll be able to see if you're actually entering anything or not, so don't be shy. We want to know
participating.
Yeah, it's definitely better when you have people who are participating, because in that way we can ask, maybe you've got some strifes or some wins that you were able to find as you went along, and maybe you can share that with the group in our Q&A. Okay, so it does look like we've got some people who are doing both a combination of the Google and the Facebook. Okay, that's good. Some of you are not doing any pay-per-click, and well, that's always a conversation that we can have as well. I'm going to just leave it for one more second here, then I'm going to give it a close down. We'll leave it up for 1 minute. Thank you, everybody, for putting those in. Okay. All right, and then my second poll that I want to run while we're on the call is just, we want to know, do you outsource any of your marketing? So if you're currently doing marketing, are you outsourcing it or are you managing it all on your own? Okay, so I'll go ahead and we'll pop that one up for a minute. Thank you for your participation. I see those results coming through here. You know what, that's another good one. So it's looking as though those who are giving us their input, we do have some people who are outsourcing, some people who like to manage it themselves, and almost 50%, to be honest, are doing a bit of both. So that's great. You want to be able to excel in what you do best, and then you want to be able to delegate in areas where maybe you're not. All right. Just a few more seconds here. We'll close up this poll. Perfect. Thank you, everybody, for participating in those for me. It's always great to get feedback so I can learn from these just as much as you guys can. So we want to know, are you doing it yourself right now? Do you want to do this particular marketing? Is it something that you're feeling confident that you would be able to implement because you're already doing some kind of a pay-per-click? If you haven't done Facebook advertising, is it one that you're looking at doing in the future? Is this something that maybe our call was able to give you a bit of a heads up and see how you can strategize and implement that moving forward? Or is it something that you'd rather work with an expert, someone who has a proven system, who's gone through it themselves, who doesn't have to invest nearly as much time in the weeds of it? Okay, so that's kind of what we're looking at. Mike, you want to contribute on this one?
Yeah, well, we always have a special opportunity for people that have come on the webinar. For anyone that is doing it themselves, great and good luck. I mean, it's a fair amount of work, but for people that would like to talk about the opportunity or their campaign, we have an offer here for you guys today on the webinar. So first, what we're going to offer, we'll do a strategic call with our social experts. So we'll spend 15 to 20 minutes on the call just reviewing your needs, wants, and desires, and a little bit about your ideal client. We'll also provide the ad strategy, design the content creation as well. We'll kind of review who your target audience is and the reach. We'll design a one keyword lead capture page, so it'll be optimized for your target audience as well. We'll also work on your budget optimization, how much you want to spend in your campaign per day, per month, per area, per demographic. We'll also go and launch your campaign and send the leads directly to your inbox, whatever that may be, text, email, whatever you prefer. And then we'll do a monthly ad performance review on how well your campaign is doing over the month's time. So all this great value for a small monthly fee, and there's a difficult website to click to go look at it. Amy, I think you're going to put it in the chat section where they can just easily click it or not.
Most definitely make it easier for you guys so that you'll just be able to click on it. My apologies, that's taking a long URL and just keeping it shorter for you. So let me just.
So you can go there, copy and paste it, but let's just click over to the other screen, Amy.
Sure. There we go. There you are.
Okay, so basically, we also have a bonus as well. So if the first 12 people on this call that sign up before 5 p.m. Eastern today, we'll also include a 1-hour consultation call with myself as well. And all this is for $199 per month with an activation fee of $297. Okay, now we do ask for a commitment of 6 months because it does take some time to get it right and to test and tweak. Sometimes it takes a lot shorter than that, but we do want a commitment of 6 months. So it's $199 per month, and it will include a 1-hour consultation with me in addition if you sign before 5 p.m. today. And so anyone that's interested, go to the link, or you can call our 800 number, which is below, I believe. Yeah, it's 1-800-858-8889. We can get on a call and lead you into the right direction. So I think we've got 10 minutes, Amy. Do we want to answer some questions that came in?
Sure. Yeah. So anyone who has any of their questions that may have come along while we were going through the call, please feel free to go ahead and type that into the chat bar. We want to make sure that we cover all those questions. We did a lot of content. We try to keep it repetitive in the sense that way you understand where we're starting from beginning to end. But if it wasn't clear for any reason, now's your chance. Okay. Okay, so one of the simple ones that we have here, Mike, and we get this often, is do you need to have a Facebook account in order to do this? So I think pretty much everyone nowadays is at that stage where you do have a Facebook account, whether it be a personal one or a business page. What do you think, Mike? That's what you're finding as
Absolutely.
well, right?
Yeah. I mean, you got to have a Facebook account. Facebook account is free, isn't it?
It is free, and that ties in with your Instagram as well. So if you have a Facebook page and you're not an Instagram user, what will happen is Facebook will actually create a page that is going to be something that it ties in with like the last part of your Facebook page. So it will help you create the page without you actually having to have an Instagram account. So you don't have to worry about the Instagram portion, but the Facebook, yes, you do. Okay, let's see. Well, I don't know, Mike. It's looking like with the questions that came through, they're pretty much just comments. They're not actually questions. So ones where people are actually comfortable, I think, with what we're doing because they have been doing some form of pay-per-click. Okay.
I see a comment about expectations of a conversion as far as ad clicks and landing pages. What is average in the industry? Again, that all depends on how well your message is, your content is, right? It does vary. A good click-through rate, I would see anywhere between 1 or 2%, and the actual landing page, I've seen 20% or higher of opt-ins from a landing page. Is that what you're seeing, Amy? Or again, it depends on the industry and the content. the message
Yeah.
to the market.
Yeah, for your optimal results, it's really hard to determine that without having a conversation with you, knowing your industry and your target, knowing who your audience is. I mean, if you're looking at someone who's targeting a mass group of people versus someone who's looking for just a geographic location, then we want to make sure that that's going to be taken into consideration when we're giving out those types of results. So, if you're looking at approximately 20% of opt-ins, that's incredible. That's a good rate. Mike,
you got to understand what your cost per lead is, what your cost to acquire a customer is, and what your lifetime value of a client. All that comes to your goal, your cost per goal we talked about, right?
Yeah. And I have a comment to someone saying, can you elaborate on how you find out your cost per goal? So I think that that's a part of the strategy that we had talked about, implementing, and that's something that we had said that with your consultation call, you would be able to help, right? Anyone who's looking at trying to figure out how to determine that, that's probably where you're going to get those answers.
Yeah. We must have done a good job, or people being shy. We only had a few questions this time. Maybe we did a good job delivering. I don't know, or maybe they're sleeping, Amy. I don't think so. Everyone appears to be still on here.
Yeah, no, but, I think it's a lot of information for people to digest, and for those people who are doing pay-per-click advertising, I think they kind of get it. So it's like that happy medium. Some people are okay. You've given enough information, they get it. The others who are a little more trigger shy or not typing in any information, they're the ones who are, they're not doing the advertising. Maybe they just don't know what questions to ask. So, even just a consult call with AMS is probably something that would help kind of point you in the right direction. So if you're not looking at, your business from the perspective that we've tried to push home, at the beginning of the call with your marketing strategy, what's your objectives. If you don't have those answers, I think people may be struggling a little bit with what to ask.
Yeah. But again, it all comes down to marketing, direct response marketing, your message to your market. Very, very important. Facebook and pay-per-click it really is another medium to deliver your message. Before 2000, there was no internet, and marketing worked the same way. Marketing content, direct response marketing, and urgency, all that. You still need to understand marketing and understand those principles as well. And test and measure. Test and measure is very, very important. And you got to have tools to be able to test and measure and track the effectiveness of your advertising. Very, very important. So, well, Amy, we're at 2:56 right now. It looks like, right? So we got a few more minutes. Is that it for questions?
I have some questions that are more on like the design element of things. So when it comes to using images in advertising or video, people are looking for the resources or how do they do that. So with the actual imaging, a part of the strategy and the call and the offer that we're doing, we're talking about design content creation. So we will help you with that. You don't have to have, a good eye for any of that. That's something that we can certainly help you with. Video marketing, when it comes to implementing a video and putting it into action, I think that's something, again, that we would have to have more of a one-on-one talk to establish what your objectives are and go from there.
Perfect. Well, the opportunity is there. Anyone wants to take a screenshot or a picture of that screen or call our 1-800 number, 800-858-8889. I know that URL you got to click is too
I apologize
complicated to remember. You can copy and paste. Take a picture of it. That's the best way. But we're more than happy to help you out. And I just want to thank everyone for coming on the call today and going through this Facebook webinar. I want to thank Amy for helping me on this webinar. And I'm a little down and out here, but we got through it okay.
Yeah, you did a great job despite you being a little under the weather. So thank you for giving us your time as well. Thanks, everyone.
Take care. Happy marketing. Take care.